quick video for you. I think I've worked something out. So did you ever wonder why the lockdowns ended at exactly the same time as the Ukraine war began? I did, and I think I've worked out why. And it all relates back to what the World Economic Forum is trying to achieve, which is a new central bank digital currency. And to do that, they need to hyperinflate away the currencies that we've already got. And they also need to come up with a viable cover story, rather than people realizing it was the money printings during the lockdowns that caused it. So basically, when you print money, it won't cause inflation if velocity is very, very low. And that's exactly what happened during the lockdowns. They printed shed loads, but it didn't cause dramatic inflation at that time because the lockdowns also limited the velocity of circulation of the money supply, which limited spending, which limited the rise in prices. Okay, so when they wanted to they printed enough money and they thought that they had enough to cause the hyperinflation needed. They then needed the cover story. So that's when they pivoted. They ended the lockdowns. Why? Well, because they needed to get the velocity up to create the inflation. Lockdowns basically involve people staying at home, not spending money. So if you end the lockdown, velocity starts increasing because people leave their homes and start spending money again. And at the same time, they also needed a cover story. So that's why the war in Ukraine began at exactly the same time. So that's basically what's gone on, I think. The only other possible reason for it might be just they're into mockery. So, a very abrupt pivot was actually they probably had a bit of a laugh about that, about these kind of the COVIDians. There was some of them, I think, who were just so shocked that these lockdowns ended about as quickly as they began. But anyway, I think it was all about trying to get velocity up. They didn't want the inflation to occur at the same time as they were doing the printing. They needed a convenient excuse to cover up the inflation they created. That excuse was Putin. So when the Ukraine war began, that's when they wanted velocity to go up. So that's when they lifted the lockdowns. So I think that's it. So if you want to understand a little bit more about the mechanics of what causes inflation and the Austrian school view, which is based around the quantity theory of money with a caveat, which is velocity is unstable, have a look at the last video that I did on this channel, which is called What Causes Inflation. Okay, lovely day again in Finland, bright blue sky, off to the beach. God bless.